Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Tuesday Talk. This is Pamela Jean. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to ask a series of questions today, and I'm going to ask you to be very, very honest with your answers. Be honest with yourself, be real with yourself. Just stay on the up and up with this one. So we're going to start with this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate yourself? Just stop and think about that for a second. How would you rate yourself? The reason I want you to do these ratings today is to really, really let it sink in on how you feel about you. And I want you to realize that, if you just rated yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 and it wasn't a 10, I want you to ask yourself why. What about yourself do you need to work on? None of us are perfect. We are all a work in progress. I believe that 110%. But it takes a really, really strong person to do self-development, to work on yourself, to work on who you are, and to work on loving who you are. Because if you love who you are, and if you work on that self-development part of you, and trust me, we all could use a little bit of extra help in that category, the more you love you, the better version of yourself you are going to become. So, second question, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you rate your body? What do you think of your physical body? That's probably a pretty tender topic for most people, especially women. We are pretty hard on ourselves from a physical aspect. So if you can't rate yourself as a 10, whatever your interpretation of a 10 is, why not? What do you need to do differently? What can you do in that category for you to feel good about yourself? I can tell you one thing. First and foremost, stop comparing yourself to other people. You are uniquely you. You're exactly the way God intended you to be. So number one, stop comparing yourself to other people. Some people are not meant to ever be a size 4 or a size 6. We're all built differently. We're all shaped differently. But what are you doing to feel good about yourself? Are you exercising every day? Are you watching what you eat? Or have you just given up? Do you just don't even care anymore? So think about that for just a little bit. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your body? How do you rate how you look? This is a perfect opportunity, if you didn't give yourself a 10, to think about, what can I do differently? What does a new health plan look like for you? Now, when I talk about health plan, this doesn't mean jumping on the most current fad diet, because it's not about dieting. It's about your health. And when you start a new health plan, this is something that you can do again and again and again. It's a lifestyle change. It's a health change. It's a health plan, which it's not a diet. Those two things are very, very different. People go on these quick binge diets because I want to lose 10 pounds before some big event or whatever. So you'll do this crash diet. But I can promise you, if you do a fad diet like that, the 10 pounds that you lose, you will find those 10 pounds again, and you have to lose them all over again, and probably find 10 more of your friend's pounds to lose as well. So when we're talking about a health plan, it's a commitment for you to make a habit out of a healthy lifestyle. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to start doing boot camp or CrossFit or anything like that, but move your body every day. Commit to yourself to move your body every day. If you walked a half a mile today, then walk a mile tomorrow and walk a mile and a half the next day. But work on creating a health plan that you can stick with. Don't do anything crazy and fad-like, because I want you to be able to look in the mirror and look at your body and say, you are a 10 because you're healthy, you're strong, and you take good care of yourself. How you feel about yourself will be a direct reflection of how you present yourself to others. So if you're trying to live the very best version of yourself and you can't put yourself as a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, then you've got some work to do. I think we all do, right? We all have some work to do. My next question for you: rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your job. Be honest. Think about that for just a little bit. If you can't say that I'm a 10 when I show up for work every day, what is that saying about you? Are you in a job that you don't like? If you're in a job that you don't like, or you're on a career path that isn't fulfilling you, why are you there? Is it time to start thinking about doing something else? Is it time to start committing yourself to being that top 10 employee for the company that you're working for? What does that look like? Have you been passed over on a promotion because you're not really working at a level 10? If you're not working at a level 10 and you can only give yourself a 5, then stop and think about why you're doing that. Are you committed to your job because you love your job and it's giving you purpose? Or are you just giving yourself 8 hours a day to go work a job and go home? Are you one of those people that are passionate about what you're doing? Or do you wake up on a Monday morning and wish you did not have to get out of bed because you don't want to go back to work? We spend so much time in our work world. It's so important that you love what you do, that you have a purpose, and that you're driven. And if your answer was not a 10 at your job, then maybe it's time for you to pursue your dreams. Maybe there's something in you that you've been putting off, and it's not the right time. We don't have the money, making up excuses for you to not be living a purpose-filled life every single day. The thing is, we're given one life. There's a guarantee. We are all going to get old. Someday we're going to be old, and we're all going to die. We don't know when that's going to be. Life is too short for you to live your every single day going to a job that is not fulfilling, that's not utilizing your best skills. And you can make a decision. You can make a decision. You have a choice to do something about it. Go back and get that degree you never got. Work harder every day, commit yourself, find something that you love, or change your career path. You have a choice. There's always a choice. And the last question I'm going to ask you to rate yourself on is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what level is your effort at? How hard are you working to live your best life? How hard are you working to absolutely love the skin you're in, to do the best thing for not only yourself, but your family, for those around you, for everybody that you meet? Reality is, first of all, I'm going to jump around just a little bit. I'm going to just step back to the health. It's important that we take care of our loved ones. We all feel that. But if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't possibly take care of everybody else around you. If you're not a healthy version of you, it's impossible for you to be a healthy version and take care of other people. I am going to ask one more question because this is really, really an important one. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are your relationships like in your life? What's your relationship like? If your relationship is only a 5, I think it's time to reconsider your relationships. What do you need to do differently? How can you make them better? What has to change? Life is not meant for us to go through the motions in life. We all are given an incredible purpose to everything that we do. Learning to love yourself, not comparing yourself to other people. We are all made so unique and we are all so different. There's no comparison really, because we're all so unique and different. You have something so special that is in you. And if you don't know what that is, I beg you to do some serious soul searching and find out what that is. We all have a bigger purpose. Our life is not meant just to punch the time clock and put our time in, put in 8 hours a day in a job that you don't love. Be passionate about what you're doing. Find purpose in what you're doing and find joy every day. If you can't give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 10 as a human being, I'm a 10, my body's a 10, I'm a 10, my outlook is a 10. You have to be able to do that. How you see yourself is definitely the mood and the tone that you're setting for other people to see you. If you don't love yourself, how can you expect anyone else to love you? And I know I've said this to you before, happiness truly is an inside job. You can't look for a job to make you happy, a house to make you happy, your spouse or significant other to make you happy. Happiness is an inside job. You have to love what's on the inside of you before you can truly love other people and before other people can love you, because the feelings that you have on the inside is absolutely the feelings that you are expressing on the outside. So learning to love yourself exactly for who you are and for what you are is so incredibly important. And we all have choices. Every single one of us has a choice every single day. We get to decide what kind of day we're going to have. We get to decide how much effort we're going to put forth in our life. We get to decide if you're going to stay in that job that you don't love or if you're going to make a change and do something differently. It's always a decision. It's always a choice. And we all get to make those choices every single day. And if you're in that situation where you feel like, I don't have the energy to do anything, well, you know what? That's really a choice too. Doing nothing is a choice. Sticking with status quo is a choice. There's always, always a choice. So I want you to go through and take a little bit of an inventory of your life and an inventory of who you are. And ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how do I rate myself? And if that's not a 10, then let's start making a plan for what a 10 looks like in your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you next time on Tuesday Talk.